G'day everyone. Thanks for jumping on. How are we all going?
Yeah.
We'll just wait another minute or so and see whoever else jumps on and we'll get started.
Oh, no.
So if you don't want to be speaking or anything, just click mute on your side. And you can, or you don't have to have your video on, can if you want it. Paul and I will stay on.
Okay. I'll be home in about 5 minutes, so I'll turn my camera on then and jump on my laptop when I can. But for now, I'll just listen.
Too easy. Cool. We'll get going in a sec. How's everyone's day been?
Don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. I don't know what's up with this camera, but I'm here.
All good. How's your audio, Paul?
Coming through okay?
Yep, that's good. We did a bit of a test run before. We had a bit of trouble, but that's good now.
Yeah.
Just made it with 60 seconds to go. Had to pick up the little man from kindy. Ran in the door.
Easy. All good. All right, well, we'll jump into it. We had about 30 or so people signed up, but of course, not everyone's going to get on. So thanks for jumping in, guys. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. So I'm here with Paul Stubbs from the ICL group. I met Paul a couple of years ago when he was doing something a little bit different, and now he's in this role. So I'll let you introduce yourself, Paul, and explain a bit about what you do.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, as Tom mentioned, we crossed paths a couple of years ago. My background is I came in as a mature, did a greenkeeping course on a golf course, worked my way up to superintendent, wanted to know more about turf and how it operates and works, and went and did my master's at Sydney Uni, and tried then to worked on Group 1 golf courses around Sydney, ran my own lawn and landscaping business for a few years before the body started to break down. Wasn't really feeling it, the passion anymore for lawns and landscaping. Got in and did some mortgage broking, sales. That was really interesting, finance, but always spent some time overseas as well in the UK for 4 years, but always missed the turf industry and that knowledge that I'd built up over the years, and felt that I had more to offer. So a role came up with ICL. So who is ICL? ICL is a mining, manufacturing of fertilizer products and associated products globally. We mine raw minerals out of the Dead Sea, such as potash and potassium, right through to making the ingredients for footy franks for different companies. So probably one thing that's very close to you is what we do is your clothing. We mine a mineral called bromide. Your clothing has flame retardant on it, and that comes from bromide, which we mine as well. So I'm in the very small pointy end in the turf and landscape here in Australia. So servicing, looking after our distributor, which is K&B Adams in Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, and South Australia. I also look after Tasmania as well, and a bit in ACT. So then I also work with their clients. So from turf farms, racetracks, stadiums, golf courses, bowling greens, sports fields, private schools, you name it, and lawn contractors. So yeah, it's all encompassing. I really love what I do now. I found the right company to work for, to help use my knowledge and skill set in sales and technical sales, helping guys like yourself improve their businesses, add value to their business, understand a bit more about fertilizers, surfactants, biostimulants, and how they can potentially add another income stream to your business.
Good stuff. So Paul got in contact with me at the end of last year again, and told me about his new role at ICL and what he was doing with fertilizers and stuff. And I was pretty keen on that. So he actually sent me a package to test out, a pretty basic package of granular fertilizer, liquid wetting agent, and a biostimulant. And I've been a lawn contractor for years and years and years, but I never really got into this side of things. So I've mucked around with it like here and there, but I never got serious about it. And then Paul just explained to me the really simple side of things, how to use it and where to put it into your business. And it was really easy. Like, it's not like you're spraying out weeds or anything. Like, you're not needing to do a ChemCert course. It's really easy, simple stuff. And you can make really good money doing it. So I've started testing it out on, I've got it going on 4 lawns now. So I'm not actually full on into in a mowing business anymore because I'm doing this sort of stuff now, but I still have a few. So I'm testing it on 4 and I've had really good results with it, and it's just really easy to do. So we started discussing more and more about how we can start offering it out to you guys, show you guys how to use it, and show you a more simple way, because Paul's throwing out some pretty big words, but it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. So probably start with just telling you guys about 3 or 4 of the most basic products and how they're used, and then I can sort of get into telling you how to upsell it to your customers and where to put it into your business. So I might let Paul speak about that too. So I don't know if you want to start with one of the products is a granular fertilizer, Landscaper Pro maintenance. Yeah, maintenance.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about that.
I'll also start with, I know you all come from varying backgrounds. You're doing, is that feedback?
Yeah.
You all come from varying backgrounds. You may or may not have looked at fertilizers before, or you may be regular shoppers at Bunnings for different fertilizers there, or you do use other existing suppliers. So if you do have that little bit of a head start on using fertilizers and how they work, that's good. What I'll do is just set out, I'll explain it in simple terms so everyone can understand it. And if you do have more advanced questions, happy to do so technically. Either just send me an email or a list of questions through Tom, or what I hope to do with Tom is sort of organise this as a monthly catch up, or how often we can do it, and just be able to be there for you guys as a resource, to be able to answer your questions, bounce ideas off, and help. Ultimately, at the end of the day, is help grow your business in other avenues. So, so granular fertilizers, what are they? So granular fertilizers are broken down into a few different categories. You can get very conventional fertilizers or old school fertilizers. Say you might be familiar with an Instatech Pivot, where they're quick release, upfront, high salt index. You get a nice flush green growth, but then it's a sort of a boom bust type scenario, where you're mowing quite frequently after, and then there's nothing left. You go then into more of a slow release type fertilizer, which is Landscaper Pro, which has got a compound in it called polyhalite, which is slow release. That's the compound of potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sulfur. They're really your macros and your micros. They're the main ones that are going to really make not a huge amount of difference in growth, but really for a lot of plant health. Then you sort of move into ICL's known, and our research backs it up, is that we have a very, very good control release fertilizer. So whether it's a resin coated fertilizer or a polysulfur coated fertilizer, we've researched and tested them to the nth degree to get the right longevity matching with a compound like polyhalite. So and using urea in different sizes and grades to match those release curves. So that's where Landscaper Pro is aimed at you, the landscaper, in your business. It is also called in the commercial side in turf as Pro Turf, high end. So you can find it that way. And that fertilizer basically marries up your nitrogen as an upfront urea, but also as a polysulfur coated urea. So you're getting, depending on your climate, your region, your soil type, the temperature, time of year, getting anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. But why it works so well is the combination of your nitrogen in combination with the slow release polyhalite. So that's and polyhalite you won't find in any other company's fertilizer. It's unique to ICL. We mine it underneath the English Channel at Bolby, and that's chipped into a couple of different grades. It's quite prevalent in ag as poly S, going into anywhere from potatoes, rice farms, this sort of stuff. But it does work very well within the turf industry and home lawns as a good fertilizer that, like I said, matches those nutrients release over an extended period of time. So that's our granular. It's a bit of a background about granulars in themselves.
And can I just say, again, there's a lot of big words in there, but when it comes down to it, using it on the lawn, if you're just following some very basic rules, it's really easy. It's just a granular straight into your little hand spreader, spread it out, and that's it. As long as you're following the application rates and for each season, it's really quite simple, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it is really simple. You just the right rates, the right time of year. Say you wouldn't go out with high rates in January if you're doing a home lawn. You don't want it going crazy, and then you're just having to get called back to the lawn because it's growing too strong. So picking the right rate at the right time to suit your time frames on mowing as well as reapplying.
And we've got all this written out in a little table for you too, which is really easy to follow. There's also Paul sent me this maintenance schedule. Like, this is huge. That's only half of it. And that's if you're following like a really full-on program. But we've just put a little table together in Excel. Paul's put it together for us, which is really simple to follow, which makes it easy again.
Can you share your screen for that, Tom?
Yes, I'll try. Let me
So you
get
reckon
that up.
the slow release through summer and the quick release through the winter period? I'm just trying to get
combinate with
writing it down.
Yeah. So, good question. So you get with the Landscaper Pro, you do get a combination of both. Right. What you do have is the flexibility to adjust your rate at different times a year. Yeah.
Okay.
And different grass types as well. So, kikuyu lawns in Sydney or anywhere it's hot and wet. You're really going to not want to fertilize in January, but you come to this time of year and you want to give it a bit of a kick into the winter period before it really shuts down. That's when you go to that sort of middle rate. So there's the chart. There's the spreadsheet we've done. Now we've based it on. And I've also got to think about your business. So I know when I was doing lawns and landscaping, how to program in repeat calls, what time that happens, and those applications. So we talked about the granules, but TriSmart, our wetting agent, So that can be a monthly application, or whenever you can schedule that into get, or whatever the client. You got to be conscious of what the client can afford, and how far you want to take their lawn to improve. So it could be, you could have 6 applications of the 3 together, or if you've got a really a person, a customer that likes the fact that you're coming regularly, you can schedule in granular apps in February, April, June, if they're cool season lawns. If they're warm season lawns, you probably wouldn't have the June app. You might hold off the August app to September, October, whenever it's starting to warm up. So there's a lot of flexibility around the timing and the rate. But it's all about, at the end of the day, improving your lawns in your area to make your business more lucrative and attractive for customers when they choose you as their lawn care professional.
So that granular we were just talking about first, the fertilizer, that's what this one is. And on this schedule, it's just set up for 6 applications for the year, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really easy. And it's got you the months of the year. So we know in summer we're only going to put down 1 application and then coming through here. But as you said, yeah, it depends how far the customer wants to take it too. But just to keep it very simple, that's what we have set up here. And then did you want to talk about the surfactant, the wetting agent?
Yeah. So wetting agents are really important. They reduce the surface tension of the water in the soil, and they do that to make the water more available to the plant. So the plant's roots want to, when it's actively growing, want to take up moisture from the soil, and TriSmart helps them do that. So it distributes the water evenly through your profile. It actually penetrates into your profile, so moving moisture away from your mat and thatch area down to where the roots are, and then holds it for that month period to get the most, in combination with your granular fertilizer, get the most out of that granular app in the roots, taking up those nutrients. So it can be preventative or curative for dry patch. So if you've gone through summer and you've had lawns that are low in health and fertility, and they also suffer a lot of dry patch through unevenness of soil profiles, like more clay or more sand, they can develop localized dry spot. TriSmart can help alleviate, or will help alleviate those symptoms, and get your lawn looking more even in color and quality. Yeah. So basically, just basically assisting your granular and making water more available in your soil profile for your plant. So the water you're putting on, the irrigation you're putting on, is more effective.
Yeah, so instead of just watering onto dry, hard ground and losing most of the water, it's not soaking in. Once you're putting the wetting agent on, it's actually holding a lot more of the water that you're putting down. Cool. And then did you want to talk about the stress buster as well, the biostimulant?
So Vital Nova Stress Buster, it's got 7% nitrogen in an amine form, so it's really it's taken up by the leaf. So it's a leaf applied. It's taken up by the leaf very quickly in that form, and it's got 30% molasses in it, which helps stimulate microbial activity. It's got about another 10% amino acids in it, which also help regulate the plant against stress. And it's got a surfactant that helps spread on the leaf. So when you're spraying, you got your sprayer. At a landscaper level, you can go to the nth degree and start looking at different nozzles and droplet size and this sort of stuff. But for your basic handheld sprayer or backpack sprayer, and the nozzle you got set up, it's going to help the leaf, the droplet of the water on the leaf, help spread it out and get taken up by the plant more effectively. It's also got the 2% Fe, which is iron. Fe is iron, and that helps give it a good color up. You will get an immediate color response, and it works in ways where, yes, you'll see the color response, but then you'll start, once it starts to work and the microbial activity starts to activate, you start getting such things as more tillers, a more healthier plant that's able to withstand environmental stresses such as heat, moisture, stress, etc.
Great. Now, I want to just talk a little bit about what I've been doing with it and how I've been working it into these jobs and how long it's taken me and that side of things. So those 3 products that Paul's just spoken about, that would be the 3 most basic products that you'd be using if you're going to do a lawn care program. We spoke about trying to make it a bit more simpler. You could take out one of these products, but I believe having all 3 works really well together. And then you can also go a lot further and further and further, whereas you can add in a saliprin, you can add in a weed program as well. But just for now, keeping it simple, it's something you can add to your regular clients straight away. So I've been using these 3 products for about 3 or 4 months, and I've been timing it a little bit, just trying to work out how long things take. Tried it a couple of different ways, and what Paul and I have got down to now is you've got your 3 products, and sometimes you're only applying 1 product, or sometimes you're applying all 3 in the month, like these 3, or sometimes just 2 like that, or maybe just 1. So obviously these ones, it's 1 application of the stress buster, and that's you spray it out, a tank mix. So you might have a backpack sprayer or a little handheld one or a walk behind one. You're mixing it up with a bit of water, and you're just spraying that on the leaf, and you're spraying it on after you mow the lawn too. So you've already been there, mowed the lawn, you can spray it on straight away, straight after, and then leave. There's no coming back to do it again. No waiting a week after you've mowed or a week before you've mowed.
Is it okay if you mulch that, or you would need to bag and then spray? What would work better?
Depends on how much you're mulching. Like if it obviously, hopefully you're on a fairly regular cycle, and the lawn hasn't got away from you.
Yes.
If you've got a lot of mulch that's buried your leaf to a certain extent, you'd say, well, you'd like to collect even just a portion of it, but if you're showing enough leaf after mulching, it's not an issue.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's the stress buster one that stays on the leaf. Your landscape and maintenance is the granular that you have to throw out, and that needs to be watered in. And your surfactant, the wetting agent, also needs to be watered in. So what we've got it down to is, if you're doing all 3, to save you time, you're going to put in the Tri-Smart and the stress buster both together in a tank mix. And then while that's drying on the leaf a little bit, because the leaf takes up the stress buster really quickly, doesn't it? So while you've sprayed that on, giving yourself a few minutes, then you're going to take out the granular and apply that, and maybe pack up a bit of stuff that you've got out. Just giving that 5 or 10 minutes while you're doing that is enough time for that to soak up into the leaf. Then you throw out your granular, then you can water it all in at once. So it's taking out 1 step of the process. So I've got this down to now, I reckon, just under 20 minutes per 100 square meters, which is not bad. So you're already at the job, you've mowed the lawn, you're upselling this program. You're using, for per 100 square meters, you're using, like, if we look here, at a minimum cost, and that's including Acceloprin as well, you're under $20. And at the high end, you're up to 25, depending on what rate you're using. But what I've worked out myself is using about $20 worth of product. That's what I've been doing. So not quite the minimum amount, just a bit above. And it's different in, different seasons. You might have to add more in at some stage. But on average, about $20 per 100 square meters. And then you're spending about 20 minutes applying it as well. So if you're there, you're making your money off the lawn, you're upselling the fertilizer program, and you're only spending 20 minutes. You might have a lot bigger lawns, but we're just talking per 100 square meters to keep it easy. You're spending less time traveling. You're already at the job. It's a really, really easy job to do. It's not hard on your body at all. You're just spraying out fertilizer, throwing out granules, watering it in, and it doesn't take long. So it's a really good upsell there. So that's my take on it. You're using less than $20 a product. You can put your percentage on top of that, and then charging you whatever your hourly rate is for your time there. I think it just works really well. So on those 4 lawns I've been doing it on, I've had really good results. And it's only been 3 months really. I've done it on a kikuyu lawn, a cooch lawn, rye and fescue mix, and bluegrass mix as well. And they've all had really good results. And it's been really, really dry where we are here near Ballarat in Victoria. And just that wetting agent has made a lot of difference. These guys are watering their lawns too, but before the wetting agent, it wasn't taking up the water, and they were just rock hard and dry as anything. So I think if you're going to want to try and upsell this to people, the hardest bit is getting them on board with it. So you're going to have to take this table and figure out your own prices, because you've got to put in your hourly rate to it. And then you've got a little bit of equipment on the side. So you're going to have your little handheld spreader and whatever kind of spray pack you've got, if you've got to use a backpack or a walk behind. I wouldn't recommend using a little handheld pump, because I've tried it before and it's not very efficient at all. Those little 5 or 7 litre tanks, they just take too long. I would recommend a backpack sprayer or a walk behind one. You've got to spend a little bit more money on that, but you're going to be able to spread it out so much quicker. And then you don't really need much else after that. You might need a couple of measuring cups and maybe some scales to weigh out. But once you can just use whatever scales you've got at home, weigh it out in a container, and then you're going to know for each time you're going to do it. But again, the hard bit is getting the customer on board. So what I would actually recommend is getting some of this for yourself, and applying this program to your own lawn just for your own benefit, but you can also use it for before and after photos to show your customers, and then you get used to using it and being able to explain it to them, so you actually understand what it's doing to your lawn and you can explain that to them. But also take a bit of that product and talk to them about it, and maybe just do a test patch on their lawn and just say, we're going to do this for free. I just want to show you what we can actually do with this product, and it's not very expensive. And just take a little area of their lawn, and every time you go there, just apply it. And it'll only take you 5 minutes, and then the results are going to speak for themselves once they start seeing how good it is and how much healthier their lawn is. They're going to want to jump on it, I think. And then it just keeps rolling on and on. Once you've got them on board and it's actually showing results, it's not going to show instant results. You got to apply it. You're going to have to keep it going for a while. But once you are showing those results, they're going to love it, and they're just going to want to keep their lawn that way. They don't want it to go back to how it was. They want to have a really good lawn, and your lawn's going to be growing better, healthier, which means you might also be able to push them into weekly mowing as well, because it's going to be growing a lot, not so much quicker, but it will be growing quicker and healthier and thicker. You're probably going to be able to push them into a more often mow as well. So I think it has a lot of roll-on effects there. And you're also advertising your own work to people. They're going to start talking about it. they're going to tell their friends how good their lawn is just because you've added this little program into their maintenance schedule. So yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. The combination of those three products work really well together. Can you do it alone with one or the other? Yes, but the benefits compound themselves. And like you said, Tom, it does take time to kick into gear. So it's not so the pro maintenance is not something you're going to see a massive flush from at different times of the year. It's just going to get this nice, healthy green up. It's going to be a thickening up of your grass. It's going to be less wear and tear on your equipment if you've got less dust, less clogging up of your filters or your mowers. You've got it's great when you turn up at a yard. You got your neighbours looking over, going, "What's going on here?" Your customers coming out saying, "Hey, this is fantastic." It just brings your business to another level. And we all if we've got time, we sit on social media, we all see the different groups, lawn fanatics or lawn porn or whoever you're into. There's home lawn owners want to have a good lawn. They'll spend the money, but a lot of them don't have the expertise. So that's where you're now bringing your expertise for a little bit of training, a lot of support from your fellow group members and myself as a resource, that you can bring that expertise to add value to your business.
Good. We don't have too much time left on the meeting, but I just wanted to wrap it up and say, first of all, myself and the Lawn and Garden Group, we don't take any cut of any sales or anything like that from promoting the ICL products. Paul's doing this in his own time after work. I mean, yes, he works for them and he's doing his promotion, but the Lawn and Garden Group isn't taking any cuts out of it. What we do is, because we have a paid membership as well, and this is the sort of thing that we get through the paid membership, and we've got lots of other different things in there. That's where we make our money. We don't make our money off taking a percentage off sales or anything like that. So one of ICL's distributors is K&B Adams. They have an online store called Lawn Care Supplies. They've given us a 10% discount code for their whole store, not just the ICL products. So once this ends, I'm gonna send you an email with that code. And some of these products are pretty expensive, so 10% is going to get you quite a fair bit off. But look through the whole store, and there's a lot of other products and things. You've got the little spreaders and backpack sprays and things in there too. So that discount applies to everything. So I'm going to send that to you an email, and just so you know, no one's getting anything out of it. It's just a discount for you guys. And then I'm also going to send you through that little schedule of that maintenance schedule for the year, just so it's easy for you guys to use. Yeah, we've only got about a minute left on here, so I'll just say good luck. Hopefully, just get some of the product yourself and just use it on your own lawn and do some test patches at customers' lawns and just see how it goes. And if you can start getting people on it now, come springtime next year, they're going to have an awesome lawn. It's not going to be instant, but by then, yeah. And you're going to be spending more time at their house, making more money in one spot, not traveling around. You can just start upgrading your customers. You can get those better